Hello, and welcome to the Don't Tail This podcast, the sports betting podcast that's not great, Bob. I'm your host, Al Manarino. With me is my co-host and the only winner on this podcast, Mr. Ben Murkison. Ben, what's going on? What's it feel like to win?
Well, Al, I'll tell you, it feels good. I will say we did win our first bet, so we're not losers. We're still up 2 units, I think, now, even though we've lost every bet since then. But yeah, I got lucky outside of the account. Well, lucky and unlucky. I'll get into it more when we talk about Monday Night Football. But I did make a little over $400, and I've been mentioning it casually for the last 24 hours, and Al is about to kill me. So it's good that we're here to talk about it now.
Yeah, Ben, I'm very happy for you. I told you I was happy for you when it hit. I love that you went with your gut. You actually did the thing that you were going to do and take some of your picks and parlay them together. It wasn't exactly your actual picks, or it was?
It was like the ones that I had written down. So it's weird for the podcast because we didn't talk Monday night. We said we just post them like later.
Oh, yeah.
So me and Al had to go through and just send screenshot text of what we wanted our picks to be. And then we, put 4 of those together for each parlay and ultimately posted them on Twitter and Instagram. So hopefully you didn't see those because the ones we actually went with as a team did not hit. But my selections for each did. So that's the problem. For Monday Night Football, I hit 4-0 and 4-0 for both games. I just, for whatever reason, inexplicably did not bet those tickets. I did bet tickets with those picks like mixed in, but I didn't just bet those 8 because that 8-legger would have hit so nicely. It's like that weird dumb situation I was saying where I made 400, but I felt like I lost 600, which is not a good way to look at it. It's good just to smile at the fact that you made some money, but it's still like a bitter pill. We've done this twice to ourselves where you had a perfect ticket week 1, like with your own individual picks, did not bet it. It hit.
Didn't bet it.
We said we need to do better about this. Always bet your own individual 4 legs, even if we don't go with that as our actual parlay. We need to hold each other accountable to making our bets so that we don't have any of this more like after the fact, I feel like shit about myself moment.
Yeah. No, it makes sense. And we definitely need to do that. And yeah, I think I'll have to come up with a structure that makes sense. Maybe like a half a unit on like our individual 4 picks for the slate, just to like not, completely break the bank.
Yeah. I mean, we usually have some bonus bets and some like, free stuff. So we just need to use those for that. I think that's smart.
That's really smart. That's a
But
good call.
that's not what we do. We're not smart.
Not yet. Not yet. But we do have a lot to go over. We have all of week 1 slate, our picks. We'll try to get through that as fast as we can so we can get to a truly fun game for Thursday Night Football. I'm excited to talk about the game. But before we do any of that, we're going to go into our slate. We'll go with our 1 p.m. picks. We had complete opposite results for 1 p.m. You had some great picks. I had some pretty lousy ones. And the reason we lost by 1 leg was because of my pick.
Breece Hall, over 19.5 receiving yards, finished with 9. I don't know. I think you did really well week 1 with like the receiving lines on running backs, and then we kind of went back to that proverbial well as we were talking about, and it just kind of screwed us over a bunch of times this week. Most of the time as we went through it, because another one we were both on was Jahmyr Gibbs over 29.5 receiving yards, also did not hit. Luckily, we stayed away from Derrick Henry. After we talked about like anything under 100 yards, we just need to go ahead and smash play. We might want to rethink that strategy after he finished with just 23 this past game. I don't know how that happens to a guy like Derrick Henry.
Dude, but I mean, you don't have to go so into it, but that they abandoned the run completely in that game. Lamar threw for like 4 touchdowns or something.
Yep, Lamar had a really great game.
Great game, but no rushing.
It's just weird. Like 41-17 was the final score in that game. So, yeah, I mean, Derrick Henry only had 11 carries. So that's not, typical for him. I think that, Cleveland was obviously doing everything they could to stop him early, and they weren't having a lot of success. So they just kind of gave up on it. Like, you know what? We've got all these other weapons. We'll just utilize those. Not Mark Andrews, obviously. They did not utilize him, which is why he still remains on our never again list.
Correct. Henry's not going there. He's too valuable of a rushing asset. I wouldn't say Breece Hall is escaping the list.
I don't want any part of the
escaping
Jets.
the list. That's it. I think the Jets are on the list. Can a whole team be on the never again list?
I mean, if you're going to put a team on there, I think the Jets are definitely one of those teams you want to go with, especially now that Justin Fields is also hurt. Like, there's so many quarterbacks injured right now.
Mhm.
It's ridiculous. We'll talk to that as we go through. Some of the lines that did hit before I have a very important question to ask you. We did have CMC over 35.5 receiving yards, finished with 52. Travis Etienne Jr. didn't have over 100 this time, but he went well over the 54.5, finished with 71. And then Puka Nacua remains like the only receiver that matters for the Rams. Over 6.5 receptions, he had 8. So those are some names that we probably, back-to-back weeks have hit, so we should probably keep going back to them. So my question for you, DeAndre Hopkins, like, when are you going to say his name and then just, like, say it with authority, like, with your chest out? Because back-to-back weeks, you've, like, said Hopkins, and then you're like, you know what, never mind. And then you pivot off of it, and both weeks he crushed. Like, his line was over 18.5 this week. He finished with 64. Like, why do you love him and hate him at the same time?
Well, it's so funny because it is. I honestly, from that first game, I'm like, oh, cool. He's wide receiver 3. Like, they finally got a guy. They've never really had a guy. And then now in week 2, he's like wide receiver 2. And I'm kind of forgetting that, yes, Lamar has a lot of weapons, but none of them are really set in stone. We're talking about how Andrews is he's on our never again list, right? So he was someone who was like Lamar's guy for the longest time. Flowers obviously took that, the wide receiver 1 role from him, even though he was a tight end. But what are we talking about? We're talking about Isaiah Likely not playing. We're talking about Rashad Bateman barely seen. Tylan Wallace not seen. Like, he's not throwing to these like deep ball threat guys. He's going to D-Hop. I didn't see that coming. I didn't
Well,
when I first brought him up in week 1, you were so scared about that pick.
well,
You're
I
like,
just forgot that he was still in the league. That was the other reason.
yeah. So,
I mean, he only had 2
I was,
targets, to be fair.
yeah,
Like, he had 2 targets, but he had a 41-yard touchdown. Like, I think he's got back-to-back touchdowns, right?
yeah,
Didn't he have one in each game?
he did. I'm saying that I guess that lineup is not set in stone, and it's really fair game at this point with Likely out and Andrews not being a factor. It might be time to pick up D-Hop stock.
I will not scoff if you decide to go with D-Hop this, week or any week in the future. I do think that we're dumb for not just saying, you know what, we should probably just go with Zay Flowers because he's got 7 and 7 catches, 143 yards and 75 yards. Like, that's probably a guy that we should consider.
What's the opposite of the never again list that we can come up with? Like the always again? Because there's a couple people or a couple players this week,
Yeah.
that hit back-to-back weeks, and not only that, it seems like there's no slowing down for them.
Yeah, I mean, the only issue would be obviously like Vegas catches up to that and decides to make their line like too
Yeah.
high to where you get nervous about it, which, will happen. I mean, Zay Flowers has probably already got a line that's, I would imagine, he's at least in the high 70s, I think, every week.
Oh yeah,
So,
I would say he's almost pushing 80 now.
yeah. So, I mean, that's the only reason that you stay away from something like that. But that's kind of where the receptions, I think, works sometimes for these guys. But
Mhm.
anyway, 1 p.m., we almost got there. It's just not
So
quite.
close.
So you went 1-3, and then in the 4 p.m. slate, you went 3-1. I went 3-1, and then just shit the bed entirely and went 0-4 in the 4 p.m. slate. Not a good look for me.
Bad.
Yeah, not great, Bob. As we talked,
Mhm.
RJ Harvey, I thought for sure after his week 1 performance he would be good. Over 31.5 rushing was his line. He finished with 8. Not good. I went back to the Jahan Dotson over 10.5 receiving yards. We thought, well, surely he, kind of put himself as at least the wide receiver 3. He finished with 4 yards. And then Juju Smith-Schuster should be the wide receiver 2 by all intents and purposes for the Chiefs. His over was set at 34.5, and he finished with 5. And then my last pick, Trey Benson, after he did so well like week 1, I thought, well, they're playing the Panthers. They could have a lead. They'll probably give him some carries. His line was over 37.5. He finished at 14. So not only did my guys like not hit their line, they didn't even sniff it. Like, they were so far below like the realm of possibility of hitting it. So I don't know how I could be so wrong, but that's an 0-4 for me.
Yeah, and to speak on mine, it's again funny that the 3 that I picked were guys that were successful for us in week 1. Tyler Warren, Kyler Murray, Travis Kelce, all went over. Kyler barely, with getting 32 when he needed 28. Warren is that guy. I
Yeah.
think we did the wrong ladder last week with Bijan. I think Tyler Warren might be the ladder guy now. If this Colts offense continues to do what they're doing, and just shocking the NFL, shocking sports gambling as well.
I
And
don't
then Kelsey.
uh, I
Kelsey
don't
is
know if there's a
he's
tight
the
end
only
that
guy.
yeah, I mean, true. Although Kelsey does continue to seem to be melting down a little bit. Like, he hit his line, like, he had 61 yards, but he didn't, like, make that game potential,
He's melting down because the whole team has no identity. You lost your two. I mean, we talked about it. I feel like we're talking about it the last couple weeks now, but like this team doesn't know what to do with themselves. They have Hollywood Brown and Kelsey. That's it. There's no Worthy yet. He's not back yet, and we have no Rashi Rice for 4 more weeks, I believe.
yeah. Yeah, 0-2. 0-2 Chiefs. I love, like, the meme where it's like it was like The Office. I think I was sitting at everybody where looking over at Stanley. But yeah, it's like the Dolphins at 0-2. They're looking at the Chiefs like, yeah, man, same.
Yeah, respect.
Like, respect. Like, no, we're not the same thing.
No,
Uh, yeah, so Chiefs are struggling, but yeah, that line did hit. Um, yeah, you only had one that didn't come through as of right now,
the
and that
booty.
was Booty, which he played like it finished with 16 yards instead of the 41
That
and a
team
half that
might be
his line
booty.
was.
I think we were right. The things that we were wrong about are pretty like apparent in terms of like some of the futures we made. R.I.P. Joe Burrow.
I was gonna say, you mean Joe Burrow's not gonna be MVP?
He might
What?
not be. So, but something that I feel like two things that we got right were I don't trust the Patriots and I don't trust the Bears. And so far,
Yeah,
kind of right.
th those look good. I am still riding with the Caleb Williams. One of our well, I don't even wanna get into it too much because midseason is when I really wanna look at the futures, but our
For sure.
quarterback's over 35 and 100 yards. I think that line looks pretty good for us so far.
Heck yeah.
But yeah, so again, we lost money. And then we went into Sunday Night Football thinking maybe Sunday Night Football will save us. And we both really did great at 1-3 with our picks. We both decided that Bijan Robinson would be a smart move considering he had over 100 yards receiving the prior week. His line was somehow only 26 and a half, and he finished with 25. Did not hit that line. He did, however, rush for, like, didn't he have over 100 yards rushing? So we can't pick what Bijan's going to do effectively week in and week out. So not sure which line we want to have with him. Kyle Pitts, I had originally put down like his receiving yards, and then you had me pivot to the juice. Like he did hit both. So he's over 3.5 receptions. He finished with 4. He also went over his receiving line. We both liked Aaron Jones' lines. We were both wrong about Aaron Jones.
Jeez.
So you took his receiving, I took his rushing. He's now, I think, going on to injured reserve, or at least is going to miss some time with a hamstring. So we at least will not be losing money because of Aaron Jones for at least 3 or 4 weeks.
That's
Probably,
good.
probably ever again, I would imagine. You want to talk about your boy Ray Ray?
Yeah, just another abysmal pick there with 0 yards for his, he needed 26 and a half. It was crazy how bad we were on Sunday night. Just looking
Yeah,
back at it. And the game, I remember checking in on halftime and it was like, 12-6 and it was all field
field
goals.
goals.
I was like, oh, this is a bad game. Like, I don't even have to look at the box score to know
Yeah.
that nothing of significance has happened throughout the whole game.
It's not good when you go into the fourth quarter of a game with your first touchdown bet still
Mm-hmm.
active. That's a sign of a shit game. But yeah, Aaron Jones, 18.5 receiving yards, finished with 0. His rushing line was 39.5. Finished with 23 back-to-back weeks. He talked about now he's hurt. Michael Penix Jr., we both loved him. You loved his rushing at over 8.5. He finished with -1.
-1. Let's go. I
And
did
then,
like McCarthy better. I will say that. And
yeah, you were right
but
on that one. He had 25. His line was 17.5. Michael Penix, I thought that they would air the football out a little bit. And it's weird to me because in the post-game interview, everybody was so complimentary of like the game that Penix had, but like his overpassing line was 229.5. He finished with 135. He didn't
yeah,
really do anything other than not turn the ball over and lose it. And I think he looked good because JJ McCarthy looked so bad. But you would think that they were talking to like a really, really solid quarterback in the post game, like somebody that really impressed.
They don't they
But
don't
it
treat
just
Russ they don't treat Russell Wilson that way, and he had like 450 passing
no.
yards.
Poor Russell Wilson, man. Well, poor you, poor Giants. Like that. Do you want to say anything about that game? We didn't have any lines from that game, but
No, I avoided that game like the plague, and it was funny. I was at a music festival. That's why I sound like death again. I was at a music festival this weekend, and there was like a little break, and a buddy of mine, another Giants fan, they had a TV at a bar. We were like watching from it, like from outside of the bar, and I was like, we were so hyped. We were watching like Scadaboo get his first career touchdown, and Dart came in, and that's the touchdown play for Scadaboo, which was really sick. And I was just like, man, maybe week one was a fluke. Like maybe we are gonna be pretty good. No, because then we lost to the Dallas Cowboys kicker, not the rest of the team. They still suck. The kicker is like a top 10 player in all of fantasy sports. Brandon Aubrey hit 260-yard plus field goals. Absolutely bananas. So, yeah, Giants still in a danger zone of some sort. I'd be shocked if we don't do something during the season, because I feel like any other team in this situation, they're like the coaches would be fired, but they're not going to be. Like I think Dable's still gonna have his job even if they go 0-10.
yeah, I mean, you gotta blame the defense in that one. Like I was screaming because I mean, obviously, we both hate the Cowboys more than we hate each other's teams. So I really wanted the Giants to win that one. You go down and get like a bomb touchdown to neighbors, and I'm like, hell yeah! And then I just
Yeah.
watch your defense like give like 15-yard cushions to the receivers, and just let Dallas go down to like the kicker. Like you said, Brandon Aubrey is like the only kicker in fantasy I've ever wanted to like trade a decent skill player for because he's that good.
Mhm.
He goes down and just breaks your heart. That was rough. But we stayed away from it. We should have bet every over in that game because they went
Every
nuts.
over. Russ was like, this is like, if I lose this game, I'm losing my job. And
Yeah.
he proved that he could still sling the ball, but I mean, two pretty bad interceptions, one of which was just like, I don't know, what are you gonna do? But the other one was just like, damn it, Russ.
I mean, you can't bench a guy after he throws for 400 yards.
You
Like, it's
can't.
obviously more on
You
the
can't.
defense than him.
You can't. And he activated the audience. He activated the offense. Guys like Wan'Dale Robinson into play, and obviously Neighbors had a big game after a lot of complaints from him. Warranted complaints, by the way. I don't care if he's being emotional or rash. Like, the guy wants to win. He doesn't
Yeah.
want to be on a shit team, and I get it. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I can't bet on the Giants, man. I can't do it. It's too much. I'm already frustrated just talking about it, and that's why it's going to be doubly frustrated when we bet Neighbors next week and he gets 4 targets for 7 yards. I can't
Well,
do it.
I don't know what their primetime games are, but I'm sure at some point they're going to be a Thursday or Monday Night
Dude, we
Football,
play
Sunday night.
Kansas City this week.
So we'll
It's
have to bet Giants at some point.
it's the Kansas City get right game. We're going to be the get right team for them.
Yeah,
We have
nobody
to
wants
be.
to. Yeah,
That's
nobody
the
wants
script,
to.
man. That's the script.
Imagine
No
if
one's
you
gonna be
beat
like, yeah,
them, though.
Giants finally won. It's gonna be like, no, Travis Kelce had 2 touchdowns and 100 yards, and Patrick Mahomes did a backflip throw through his legs that ended up in Tywan Thornton's hands. That's the play. That's because it's against the Giants. We know it.
But imagine how cool it'd be if the Giants win that game and you basically end Kansas City's season just at 0-3. I mean, that would be.
I would suck for my futures that I had with them.
I think we should just give up on that shit right now. Anything
Yeah.
related to Kansas City futures, I
Dude, I had
don't know.
Kansas City and Texas, Texans,
In the
and
AFC
I forgot the
Championship.
third team. No, in the to win their divisions.
Oh yeah. Well, we'll we'll see how the season plays out. It is week 2, so I'm trying to calm down on it a little bit. But yeah, there's a lot of shit that's not going well.
No.
What did go well? No, not for us. Never mind. I forgot. That was just me. So Monday Night Football.
Fucker.
Yeah. So our official ticket, we took Baker Mayfield, doubled down on Baker Mayfield. We decided to go all Bucks. We stayed away from the Texans in our official ticket. The reason why I hit and we didn't collectively is because I did end up taking Jaden Higgins over. He just barely went over, but he did get 28 yards, and that was the only Texans line I threw into a parlay. But we went all Bucks, and it almost worked out. It should have worked out. Baker Mayfield over 2 passing touchdowns. He got his 2, like, in the first half, and then Baker Mayfield over rushing. He finished with 33 yards rushing, including, like, a really cool scramble, like, late in the game, which really got us excited. We thought we were in good shape. Sterling Shepard, over 19.5 receiving. He finished with 34. We did go with the Emeka Egbuka line based off of, like, his performance the year before or the week before. Like, it should have been a smash play. Uh, Al, do you wanna say, like, how you found out that we lost this parlay?
I was at a concert because that's all I do apparently, and I was at a concert
It
and I
is
was
your
like,
job to an extent, so
yeah, it wasn't my one of my jobs, and I took my phone out and ESPN wasn't loading, so I threw on Red Zone or threw on the ESPN, and it's literally Baker targets Egbuka with a home run touchdown, game over, and he just like it goes right through his hands. I was like, no. And I was like, "Oh, it's over. All right, I'll just shut it off. Done."
yeah. Yeah, that was rough to see because we
Yeah.
we should have cashed that one, like and that's another one too that we kinda get screwed over by the, we've not successfully been able to use a ghost leg parlay yet because every time we throw it in there, we end up going, like, 0 for 4 anyway. If they had given us an option for Monday Night Football bet on it, that one would've hit. It would've been nice. And then we go into the second Monday Night Football game. We were a little bit all over the place with our bet initially. We went 2 and 2 essentially and lost, like Quentin Johnson hit his over receiving for us, and then Justin Herbert hit his over rushing. That's another line that we probably just want to keep smashing because Justin Herbert is running the ball very effectively out of
He's
the
the
quarterback
only Charger
position.
that's running the ball effectively.
That is very, very accurate. There's a lot of negative things to be said about all of the rookie class running backs right now. Like nobody's really performing up to their draft pick status or where they were drafted in fantasy. They're all
Yeah, what about year 2 running backs?
uh give me some names off the top of your head. Or
Bucky Irving.
Yeah, I mean, he's not. I don't know. Bucky Irving did have a good game. Like we didn't put him in any parlays this week, but he did have a good week too. He just didn't get that touchdown at the end of the game, which pissed everybody off because they gave it to Rashad White for some reason. That
Yeah,
probably
I
would have
always
cashed a
forget that
lot
he's
of
on the
tickets.
team. He's like
Yeah,
the Dwight meme where, Angela just, like, creeps up on him.
yeah, shit.
That
It's
that's
just
Rashad White,
vulturing
like
touchdowns,
yeah,
vulturing
exactly.
touchdowns. We
Yeah,
were on Geno Smith, but we didn't put him in the parlay. He did go over like his rushing, and then
every time.
I ended up. Well, we'll just say we also threw Brock Bowers in there. He didn't hit his line, and Trey Tucker didn't hit his line. So we lost the parlay. The reason that I ended up hitting was Keenan Allen was kind of the guy that I wedged everything on, so I had him over receptions and receiving yards. But I got pissed off because he had 4 catches, he needed 5. There was like 4 minutes left in the game, and they tried to get it to him, and he dropped a pass. I was like, great, he just dropped. I texted you like he just dropped $400. I was like, shit. So I just turned it off and went to bed. I woke up to see that they had, for whatever reason, targeted him late to convert a first down on their last possession and ended up cashing that for me. So that was nice,
Absolutely
but
incredible.
we need that type of success to happen for both of us and for the Don't Tail This account. Because we joke about, how shitty we are and the fact that you shouldn't tail us, but ultimately we do want to win some money here. And we started off on a high note, and ever since then we've just been struggling. So we
Very
need to
much
get
so.
we need to get back on to the winning way of things, and what better way than a Thursday night football game, right?
I mean, the best segue I've ever heard. So,
Thank you.
I think it's time to go into our Thursday picks. Thursday night football, we have the Buffalo Bills against the Miami Dolphins.
We do.
So we're big fans of the Dolphins this season. They are crushing it. No, they are terrible. They are truly bad, and I think they have stopped giving a shit. I think they are tanking, and it's week 2, which is saying something. So, with that, what's your first Buffalo Bills pick?
I'm gonna surprise you, but I do actually have one Dolphin, but I'm not gonna lead with him.
Good, don't. Save
If
the
you were
save the
if you were
suspense.
looking at this game and you were thinking anytime touchdown, who would you say?
If I was looking at the game specifically, I mean, you have to kind of go James Cook, even though
You
his
do.
his odds
You,
are really bad.
you do, but you're still gonna go because you know what we need, Al? We need a fucking win. We need a
I know we
win.
do.
So I want to go anytime touchdown, James Cook. I don't see how it doesn't hit. He's had one in every game. He has one in almost every game. This is a game they should be winning. Yeah, give me James Cook anytime touchdown.
Hard to argue with that. hard to argue with a minus 185. Knows that this is not a lock, but man, it's probable. The guy doesn't stop
Highly probable.
doesn't stop getting touchdowns, apparently. Good pick, if not a safe pick. All right. I am going to the receivers. I'm going to give you two picks because they're right next to each other. Give me Keon Coleman over 43 and a half receiving yards, and give me Khalil Shakir over 41 and a half. Why am I going with the Bills 1 and 2? The Dolphins defense might be the worst defense in football. I mean, that is not even hyperbole.
Yeah.
They got roasted by the fucking Colts. Like, roasted. So if Indiana Jones and Jonathan Taylor can murder you, not to say Jonathan Taylor's bad, but my God, they're going against the Bills. I think Josh is going to sling the ball, maybe avoid getting his nose broken more with the running. So
Haley didn't like that.
I will take Coleman and Shakir.
Yeah. And I would just say be careful on any type of like Indiana Jones slander because he's the NFL darling right now. He's
That's why I called him by his new name.
Yeah, got to go with it. So I do like Keon Coleman. It won't shock you to say that I didn't take his receiving line. I took his receptions line. It's so low. It's just 3.5. I feel like 4. He had 8 in the first game. He did only have 3 in the second game, but it was a game that they were winning handily. Obviously, this is also a game they should be winning handily, but the line's just so low that it still makes me want to take it. But I will be fine with taking his receiving yards instead if we decide to go with Keon Coleman.
The only reason I like the receptions is because it's plus 135. It's the only available receptions line that is plus money. Vegas doesn't believe that he's going to get that many targets. I'd like to do what we did with Kyle Pitts last week and potentially pivot to that. And one other thing, it would help out the odds with the touchdown if we
Offset
go
James
with that.
Cook a little bit. Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah, I mean, we both like Keon Coleman, so let's just go with the one that's got the better juice, so the receptions is good. I got another Bill before I will give my one Dolphin pick. I am thinking, even though he did get his nose busted up, Josh Allen over 28.5 rushing yards. He takes off like every game when the opportunity is there. I don't think he's going to shy away from it anytime soon. He's had 30 and 59, so it's hard for me to like look at those and look at the numbers here and think that he's not going to go over 28.5.
Yeah, I love it. I would even consider his 40-plus line at plus 167 if we think he's going to just abuse this defense. But yeah, 28.5 minus 112. I like that if we want to go on the safer route since we can't win.
Yeah, he doesn't seem like the type of quarterback that like just because they're winning a game is gonna like throw it away instead of trying to run for like an extra 5 or 6 yards. So
Like the Lions' entire mentality when they're throwing touchdowns when they're up like 40 points.
yeah, man, that was good for the Lions. Like you'd love to see that, and we needed to see
did.
that for the fact that we think that they were gonna win that division, even though the Packers look stellar right now. So glad to see the
We
Lions get on
avoided
track.
all the Lions
Other
week,
than Gibbs, nope, we did we took Gibbs.
other than Gibbs, because
Yeah.
we were scared.
Yeah. Didn't know what they had, but then like Amon-Ra St. Brown, like, was himself normal. So
J-Mo was himself.
again, I think it just comes down to any team that's playing against the Packers defense, we just do not touch from an offensive line standpoint. And even maybe we should look at like an unders for something.
Yeah.
If we really want to try to play it smart. Do you have any Dolphins lines?
I have another Bills line.
Okay, well give me the Bills. We'll save the worst for last.
Yeah, I have James Cook over 12.5 receiving yards. He has continued to be a great weapon for them. He's averaging 30.5. I really think Josh is going to be slinging the ball. He has no reason not to. This could be like 40-0 at the half. I mean, it's the Bills against the Dolphins. Like, I don't think we're really talking about this from like that kind of standpoint. We think James Cook's going to run over them. He could probably be a 2-touchdown candidate. He had 2 last week. This is the Dolphins. They're going to get abused.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's weird because he had a really good receiving line in the first game, 58, but then like last week, it's he only had 3 yards on 1 catch. But he ran the ball for like 132 yards. So he's had like both halves. So I don't know if it'd be somewhere in the middle, kind of balance this time, or what they'll do with James Cook. If the Dolphins are softer against the pass than against the run, then maybe that's the way to go. So yeah, I don't dislike James Cook for receiving line too. So I do like another running back to hit his over receiving line, and it's the only Dolphins line I have. It's because like I leave heavily on him for fantasy purposes, but Devon Achane he's like the lone bright spot for this team.
Mhm.
So yeah, Achane I think is somebody that can be like an instant play, but over 40.5 receiving yards is where they've got the line set. They're going to need him so badly to have a good game to even come close to trying to compete with this team. But he's went 92 yards receiving off of 10 targets for 8 catches like last week with the touchdown also. So I think in a game that they're going to try to be competitive in, it's one that they've got to lean on him. So I like him more than I like any other Dolphins receiving target.
Yeah, so the one thing I forgot to mention about Cook and his receiving line is that the Dolphins have been getting abused by running backs. Stevenson had like 88 receiving yards. He was the number one receiving target for Drake May in week 2. And yeah, I mean, I totally agree with you about A-Chain. If you're gonna go with someone on the Dolphins that you kind of trust, it's gonna be A-Chain. And I remember when Tua got out, how his lines dropped drastically. He used to be like their Gibbs, right? Like their multi-talented running back who can catch the ball and do, yards after the catch and big receiving numbers. With Tua in, I think that it is a safer bet for sure.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it's hard for them to get much on the ground, so I stay away from his rushing because they tend to just be behind in a lot of games. They're trying to throw to try to
Yeah,
catch up, so
for sure.
I'm scared about his rushing line, but his receiving line is okay for me. Um, I will say if I was gonna throw another Dolphin in there, like Waddle at least kinda bounce back game, and so did Tyreek, but I still just don't trust it against I don't know. I mean, the Bills secondary isn't that great, I guess. There's a reason why you could play these, and I could talk myself into them, but I think still probably doing largely what we did in the Monday night game with the Bucks is just like playing the team that we like better and trying to lean on their lines is probably the smarter move. So if we like you talk me into James Cook receiving, and I like doubling that down with his anytime touchdown. Josh Allen rushing seems like a way to go. So those three, if that's where you're thinking, and then if we like the Keon Coleman, or if we want to throw one Dolphin in there and go with H.
I like Achan.
Okay.
I like Allen. And
Who
who
do you
else
like
did you
Cook?
like?
James Cook still. So his receiving line that you mentioned, and then his anytime touchdown, I think is kind of just a lock thing to throw in there.
What do you like better?
I mean, I think we double down on him like we did with Baker.
Ooh, that's interesting. I don't hate it.
Yeah, I think yeah, I really like James Cook for the anytime touchdown. So I feel like that should just be in there. So it's like a line that we should be able to hit. But his receiving lines, like you said, yeah, the Dolphins are weak against running back, catching the ball out of the backfield. If they get any pressure, Tua should be dumping it off. I mean, if the Dolphins get any pressure, then Josh Allen will find James Cook when needed if he's not scrambling, or he's going to scramble and get his rushing line. So I think those two together make sense. And so
Yeah.
then it's just Keon Coleman if we want to take his receiving yards, or we take Devon Achane just so we have a Dolphin that's mixed in there.
Yeah. I like Achan for sure. Keon Coleman's going to give us the juice, but do we trust Keon Coleman to get 3.5 receptions? He only had 3 last week from a very low. It was such a weird game. I had Josh Allen in fantasy. He had 11 fantasy points. They won 30-10, and there was no receiver over 50 yards. He didn't have a big run game. It was just such a strange game against a very not good team.
Yeah, I mean, it was a James Cook show. He had 21 carries for 132 yards. So
Yeah.
it was definitely a very heavy James Cook rushing. But I don't know. I hesitate
I still like
because,
Allen's rushing because he still had 59 yards. Like I'm not
oh,
against
no, no,
that.
I
I'm
definitely like
talking about
Josh
like
Allen's rushing.
which receiver do we think receiver do you like the most out of this list? Do you like Shakir, Coleman, or Achan?
I think HN.
Me too.
Yeah. So let's go with that then. So let's double down on James Cook, the touchdown and the receiving lines. Do HN receiving, and then Josh Allen rushing.
Mm-hmm. This is our worst odds for a parlay, or let's try this again, is our best odds, but the worst
We're not going to
profit.
get money off of it, but we might
Yeah,
actually get money off of it because we won't be losing.
true.
Let's try to consider this. We're not losing $20. We're winning.
180.
Yeah, that's better than losing 20.
It is better. So plus 800, James Cook anytime touchdown, Josh Allen over 28 and a half rushing yards, James Cook over 12 and a half receiving yards, and Devon Achane over 40 and a half receiving yards, plus 800, 20 to win 180. This is one I would hope for a no sweat on, or a boost. You know, if you are considering tailing this, obviously don't tail this. If you're considering tailing this, I would say at plus 800, this one might be something you could throw with a no sweat or any kind of boost, and shop around. Maybe you can find better odds on some of these lines on FanDuel or one of the other sports betting platforms. Right now, this is on DraftKings as of recording. These lines are subject to change.
Good note there.
Thank you.
And they will change, because if you don't bet them immediately after the show, like we record, sometimes the shit's like a yard or two different by the time we actually get around to it.
Yeah, we bet like 2 days later and we're like, oh, God damn it.
If we lose one of these parlays because of like a yard or something stupid
Yeah.
like that, yeah, that would suck. But that'd be very on brand for us in the show.
Yeah, we did lose one parlay by a yard and a half from Kelsey.
Yeah, I don't want to go back and look and see if it was a line that changed. We're just going to ignore that. Let's not talk about that one.
Yeah, we won't talk about it.
All right, man. We did it. We lamented our shitty week 2. It did not go well.
Your shitty week 2? Question mark.
I'm speaking as a us. This is a us.
Got
This
it.
is a we collective here. This is a don't tail
Understand.
this partnership. And that's where it really counts. That's what really matters. Everything that we do on the outside is really just to fund this. All I did was win money so that I can continue to make these parlay bets for us.
Yeah, I need to do that as well at some point. All right, you can follow us at Don't Tail This on Twitter and Instagram. The only way you were able to get Monday's picks that we used in the parlay, not all of Ben's amazing picks that ended up with him in the green. You can find those on our Instagram. Email us, don'ttailthis@gmail.com with any complaints, questions, problems, concerns. We told you not to tail this multiple times, so we don't care either way, but we love reading emails. We're excited for week 3. Hopefully we can get a much needed dub after going 1 in a zillion. I feel like at this point we need to update our record for the socials, so stay tuned to that.
I mean, I for one can't wait for the Carson Wentz
Resurgence
versus Jake Browning battle that's going to happen this week. And then we probably have Marcus Mariota playing a quarterback. We've got Tyrod Taylor playing a quarterback this week, I think, for the Jets.
God.
We got a lot of names from the past that most people thought were retired or in the broadcast booth somewhere.
Or no longer with us.
It's going to be a very weird week 3, so stay tuned for that.
Yeah.
But what you shouldn't do, of course,
definitely don't do it.
Don't tail us.
Don't Tail This is produced by Al Manarino and Ben Berkeson. Edited by Al Manarino. Theme song by Lucas Jones. Follow Don't Tail This on Instagram and Twitter at Don't Tail This. We are committed to responsible gaming. Please visit www.rg-help.com to learn more about the resources and helplines available. Never bet more than you can afford to lose. And always bet responsibly, which of course means don't tail this.